Hello everyone, welcome back. We're continuing today the series where we're building a website monitoring service using Laravel in public. Everything we've done has been recorded in previous videos. If you haven't seen them, they're linked in the description below. This is the 5th video of the series. In our previous video, we started by adding some Tailwind UI elements or components to our website to make it look prettier. And we also added authentication to the site. So users can now register and they can log in. And we protected all the pages that the users should only use when they're logged in, like the websites, adding them, viewing the notifications, the downtime history. Everything is now protected by the auth facade. With the auth middleware. So only users that are authenticated into our app will be able to use it. Now, I want to start today's video with small quality of life improvements. This one in particular has to do with websites. I thought it was a good idea to add an active attribute to a website. So the owner of the website can say, I want to not delete the website, but deactivate it because I know it's down. I'm working on it, for example, and I don't want to be notified that it's down. So instead of deleting it and you lose the history of uptime on the site and all the information associated with it, you can just deactivate it, and then the scheduler is not going to check that site. So that's one column I want to add. And then also adding a UUID to the website. So we avoid, there's a type of attack that bad actors go through, even though we protected from it last video with authentication. You know, when you have incremental IDs here, you can start trying to go to URLs that you're not allowed to go to, for example. Like I know if this is incremental, I know there's a website with an ID of 3, a website with an ID of 2, and so on, and I can try poking for them. And we don't really want that. And also, you know, if a user creates a website and they get assigned the ID 50, they will know automatically that, oh, this service already has 50 websites, and we don't really want to expose that kind of information. So a solution for that is just adding here a random generated ID. So it's not sequential. It doesn't give the user an idea of how many websites there are on this site, or it's going to be impossible for them to try to guess at the idea of a website and try to do something nefarious with it. So those two attributes. And just remember, making changes to the schema on a Laravel project, to do that, to accomplish that, you need to create a migration. So let's start by doing that here. Do PHP artisan, make migration, add UID column to websites table. Okay, so there's a migration. Then cursor, it's going to know that we want to create a UID column because of the name of the file. It's going to be a column of type UID. I think that's just a string of varchar with some constraints. But Laravel has that UID type abstraction on top of it. It's adding a unique key to that UID because they do have to be unique, and that column goes after ID. I'm fine with that. But then we also want to create the active column, like I mentioned. It's going to be a Boolean. I like to call it just active instead of is active. It's going to default to true, and I don't care where it goes, maybe at the end. And also to roll back the migration, we need to have the instruction to remove the column. So that's done. We can migrate. Oh, there was an error. Cannot add a not null column with default value null. Okay, so it's complaining that this can't be null, but there are rows already existing in our website's table that have null in there. This is a good opportunity to just clear this table. New query. How do I run a query here? Oh, maybe like this. Delete from websites. Okay, how do I run this? Huh. Wonder if there's a way to run commands from SQLite. Quick query. Oh, run query. Here it is. How do I run it? Export, export. Delete from websites. Am I missing something? Quick query. This database. Oh, your query here. Delete from websites. No idea if that works. I mean, this probably missing something. Yeah, that worked. Deleted the rows. So we shouldn't have websites here. Perfect. No websites found. So if we run the migration now, it worked. And if we check the websites, refresh, here it is. We now have UID, varchar, and active. Now let's make some changes to our forms and tables to accommodate for that change. First, index. I want to show here the status and whether it's active or not. And the UID we don't need to show, but we do need to change the reference. The UID is what we're going to pass to the route. Then in the router, let's see, let's change this. Now let's leave it like website. And now in the controller, it's the website controller, where we find or fail, it has to be where UUID first or fail. So instead of finding by ID, we say where the UID is the parameter from the path, and then grab the first one or fail. And the fail is just gonna be a 404. Okay, now the form. Well, we don't really need to add anything here because by default, it's gonna be active. Now for the edit, we do have to add a checkbox here. Yes, checkbox, name active. And we also need to modify the website model to make that field fillable. Okay, last but not least, in the model, we need to auto-generate the UUID. Only when a website is created, we want the model to automatically generate the UUID and add it to the table. So let's see. One second. Let's see how we can do that. Auto generate UID Laravel model on creation. Well, instead of doing that, we can ask here the AI auto generate UID when row is created. There it is. So with the boot function, when the model is being created, it generates a UID for it. We just need to import that string helper, and let's test. We add a website. Let's call dialogs. It's active. Let's test the delete. And here, by testing the delete, we can see that there's a UID there. So you're not able to guess other websites. Okay, so we have those two. All right, and the edit, I noticed the checkbox isn't working. Let's type checkbox. Let's remove all those classes. Yeah, it was those fancy classes. Let's edit dialogs. Oh yes, it's posting, notice, it's posting to the ID instead of the UID. Because we missed this here. And it's also not making the checkbox active. So it's not value, it's checked. Yeah, here we go. If it's active, make it checked. Let's make it inactive. Didn't do it. Oh, it's because, okay, one second. Let's go back to the controller. On update, request all, but it's, if we're not passing, yeah, let's do it like this. And let's do that. So if request active doesn't exist, then it should set it to false. Yeah. Now it's inactive, we can reactivate it like this. And the last thing is in the command. Now we don't have to check for all websites, but only the active ones. That saves us a little bit of resources on the server. Okay, I think that's good. By the way, let's run the command just to see, make sure that everything's working. These two should be up. Yes, and if we make a change here, dialogues 2, and we run it again, dialogues should go down. Yeah, it is down. Good. All right, the next thing I want to do is adding emails. So right now, the only type of notification we have is Slack notification. And I want to create email notifications too. That's more ubiquitous. Everyone uses email, but not everyone uses Slack. So to do that, we need to create a new table in our database to store all the different notifications that users can create. And we're going to call it user notifications. Let's create a migration for it. Migration. Create user notifications table. Okay. And this table, it's going to have, yes, the foreign key to a user ID, also a foreign key to a website ID. It's going to have the type. Let's be more explicit and say notification type. Notification type. It's going to have active, whether it's active or not. It's going to default to true. Let's also do Slack, not channel, but webhook URL. So this is where we're going to store the webhook URL for the notification. Every user is going to have its own webhook URL. And if it's going to be a notification of type email, we also want to, it almost feels like Cursor is hearing me, because I just said notification of type email, typed enter, and this is the recommendation it gives me. It's crazy how much connection there is between the developer and Cursor. I think that's it for now. So we have user ID, website ID, notification type is going to be either Slack or email, whether it's active or not, the Slack webhook URL, and the email. Yeah, let's run the migration. Now we have the table, and let's create a model for that table. PHP artisan, make model, user notification. Okay, now the user notification, it's going to have, well, let's see what fillable fields. It's going to have, it belongs to a user, and it belongs to a website. Yes. Now on the website model, we want to say that it has many user notifications, and a user has many user notifications. Good. Now, how do we create the user notifications? I'm thinking we do that from the view screen of a website. By the way, let me add some quick spaces here between these links. I don't like how it looks. The actions, here they are. Yeah, gap 2 works. Let's do gap 3. Much better. So when you are viewing a website from here, also make some changes. Show. Let's add a padding or margin rather. This is all gonna look better later, but yeah, let's add some spacing here. Let's make this look bold. I think that looks a bit better. The table also a little bit of margin. All right, so we have the details of the website itself, downtime events, and I think between these two we should show the notifications enabled for this website. And if there are none, maybe a button here to add notification next to edit. Let's see where that button is. Here it is. And let's say, not destroy the website, but let's see. Add button to add a user notification to this website. I click escape. There we go. It creates a route called user notifications create, pass in the website ID. Oh, by the way, this wasn't going to work, this edit button, because it's going to the ID. It has to be UUID, same here. Add notification. Okay, the route is not created. Let's go ahead and create those routes. They're gonna be here. So user notifications. Right, so this is where the structure of the URLs start to become important, because the user notifications are part of a website, so I want to maintain that, that order. So I want these to start with websites, then the UUID of the website, then notifications, and then create. Yes. And I don't really need, oh, we need a post. But the post can be the same route here. Notifications, stored, and create. I like it. Let's just add that controller. Open the controller. And let's do the create and the store. Now it knows on the store that it's gonna be the notification type. Again, I think cursor did an update and it's listening to the microphone. It knows that it's gonna be required, and it can be either Slack or email. The Slack webhook URL can be nullable. If it's not nullable, it has to be a URL. The email can be nullable, and if it's not null, it has to be of type email. That all looks good to me, that validation. Then it creates a user notification with the website ID. We're also missing the user ID here. There we go. Auth user ID. Notification type, Slack webhook URL, and email. Yeah. We need to import website, import user notification. And I might be picky, but I like using the auth facade instead of that magic function. Okay. Now we need to create this view called user notifications. Let's actually call it notifications create. Where are my resources, views, new folder, cool notifications, new file, create. And this is going to extend our layouts main. This is going to be very similar to the create on websites. Let's copy this, paste it here. Create notification. Yeah, the magic of cursor is really, really good. So it asks for notification type, webhook URL, and email. Now we also need to pass here hidden website ID. Let's pass the website UUID hidden. The user ID, it's gonna be in the session, so we can retrieve it from there. And I think that might work. User ID. Yeah, let's pull here a website where the UUID first or fail. That's website ID. Well, no, because never mind. We're already passing the UUID on the path. We don't need to retrieve it there. We don't even need to, yeah, I forgot about that. We don't need this hidden field. Because the UID of the website, it's going to be already in the path. So we don't need to send it in the form data. Okay, let's test this. We've done a lot. Okay, add notification, not found. Let's look at our routes. So websites, UUID, notifications, create. Don't see the problem here. You're in a 404. Create. Not sure what the problem is. Let's start debugging here. So I think it's not finding the website for some reason. And I think, yeah, it's because, well, no, because then the others also shouldn't work. Again, this is a live debugging session here. Yeah, I might need to nudge it, the model here, the website model. Telling it what's the key. The key name is UUID. Yep. So it's confused because we're passing website as a parameter to the route, and in the controller we are, notice we're never telling it like, hey, grab a website where UUID equals the parameter on the path. All we're doing is creating a website object with the website parameter from the path. So internally Laravel, it's going to fetch it's going to try to fetch a website using the key of that model, and the key by default is ID. But we changed that to UUID, so we have to be explicit on the model and tell it that the UUID is the key. So now it should give us this create notification, Slack or email. So let's do type Slack. This has to be a webhook actual URL. Webhook.com, for example. Okay, it created it. Now we're not we're not showing them yet. Let's do that on the index for not the index, sorry, the show for the website. Right above the downtime events. Oh, this is a good improvement here. If there are downtime events, then show that. So if we see club history, it's not going to show anything because there's no downtime events. But dialogs does have one. And now here we can do something similar. Show user notifications for this website. So if there are user notifications, then show them here like so. User notifications, it creates a table, the body, boom. Let's do actions. It's going to be able to edit the notification and destroy the notification, right? Internal server error, notification is not defined. Yeah, the route. Okay, let's add those routes. Delete. And edit. Delete, edit, and update. Yes. So we need to add those three methods here. Destroy. Yep. The website. It's going to edit the notification. This shows the form, and the update, it just updates the notification with everything coming from the request. Okay, now we need to create this view, notifications, edit. This is also very similar to websites edit, so let's grab that. This goes back to the website. Yeah, the post URL should be this one, passing notification ID, notification type, slab webhook URL, the email, and whether or not it's active. Yeah, and here we should update this. Yeah, like that. Because here the active is true or false. Okay, so let's view this missing parameter notification in the edit view. So when we're viewing the website, this action, edit, require parameter, user notifications, edit. What are the parameters? website and notification. Okay, we're missing one of them. Missing the website. No, I don't want these to be buttons. Text. And not bold. So we're consistent with the other ones. Okay. So let's edit this notification. Missing parameter to, yes, to the form. So back to list, view, let's edit this, and let's say, no, I've made a mistake with the webhook. Should be webhookurl.com, and it's not active. We're missing here the column for active. Okay, so it's not active. Let's make it active, change it to, oh, this has to be a drop down. Yeah, it's not an input. It's this is a drop down. Here we go. So it should be type email. It should notify me and it's active. Yeah, that works. Okay, so I think this is fine. Let's see what else we have on the agenda. Well, actually sending the email. Yeah, let's do that here real quick. Now, to send emails while we are on development, I like to use a service called Mailtrap, mailtrap.io. And with this, they have a free plan that works perfectly with Laravel projects to send test emails to them. Basically, every time you send an email from your Laravel app, you configure something on your env file with some credentials that Mailtrap gives you, and it routes all the emails that are sent from your app to Mailtrap. So you don't have emails going out by mistake while you're under development to real users, right? Let me log in to show you what I'm talking about. You have to create an account. And here in the sidebar, you have email testing. You get created an inbox by default. You can add more if you want. And when you click the inbox, it's going to be empty. And you can see these credentials here that they provide for you. And what you do with those credentials is you go to your env file, and you'll see that there are some parameters for mail. You just have to replace those parameters with the ones that Mailtrap gives you. So the host is going to be that, username, and the password. It's fine that this is showing in the video. I'm going to replace this anyways when we release the video, or even this is going to be sending emails here to Mailtrap. It's not going to send anything in production. And the mail from address, not sure if this is going to work, but let's use my email. Or just Laravel website monitor.com, for example. So the emails are going to be coming from that address. All right, that's enough to do the integration. Now, we actually need to create the emails that are going to be sent automatically for when these notifications need to be triggered. And to do that, we have yet another handy artisan command called make mail. And this mail is going to be called website down. So we have that it creates a class where you can pass some parameters to build the email. You can define here the subject of the email. What's the contents of the email are defined by a view. So you'll create here a folder in your views folder called emails, and then there's going to be a blade file called website down that's going to have the contents of the email. We're going to see that here in a second. And attachments, we're not going to bother with that for this email. Okay, so the email that's going to be sent is called website down, and this is the view. So let's create that. First, a folder called emails. This is where we're going to put all the emails for our system. And this one in particular is called website down.blade.php. And in here, let's make some tests without reading the documentation. If it fails, we're going to read it. Say your website is down. Your website is down. Let's put the URL here in parentheses. As of last check that. Just that. Again, this is a prototype. We're gonna make this email prettier later, just testing the functionality. Now, how is this view or this email receiving the website parameter? And that's gonna come from the constructor here. Just do that. It initializes the website that's gonna be passed as a parameter. And that's it. That's what you need. Now, how do we send it? From the command, we also need to make some quick refactor here where we send the Slack alert. We also need to create a function called send email alert where we pass a website. We create a mail that's going to not the website, use the owner, no. So we need to grab all the notifications because there can be multiple, where the website ID is this and notification type is email and that are active as well. So we get all of those. We loop through notifications. There we go. And we email to the notification email, the email attribute in the notification, and the send function in this object is going to receive as a parameter the email that we just created, passing the website as a parameter to that email. Now we just need to import the required dependencies, and whenever we call this, we need to make a send Slack alerts and send email alerts. Let's do both. And let's rename these functions here. So these send email alerts, it's going to send them all, and we need to do the same here for Slack notifications because there can be multiple. So user notification where the website ID, notification type is Slack, and it's active. Then Slack alert. Yeah, we need to refactor these two because Slack alert, remember, it's gonna send the notification to this in our env file. We don't want that anymore. As a matter of fact, let me create another notification here. Oh, then again, that error. Need to rerun dev. So we're creating a notification of type Slack. This is the webhook URL. Oh, I need to fix this. Okay, so we have two notifications, the email and the Slack notification. They're both active when dialogues goes down. So let me first fix it so it goes up. Let's run the scheduler. Okay, and I think, yeah, that should make the site go up. And sorry, I lost my train of thought here. I think I'm late for a meeting. Oh well. It's an internal meeting from Dialogues. And okay, what we were doing was testing this. Oh no, yeah, we needed to refactor the Slack alert. Let's look at the documentation from Slack alert, from Spatsy. See how we can more programmatically send a notification. There we go. So it should be like this. To a specific webhook URL. Okay. Let me open the channel here. The test webhooks channel. How do I open it on a new window? Here it is. All right, and let's run the, well, first let's break the dialog side again, just by modifying the URL. And let's trigger the scheduler. Nice. I received a notification that dialogs is down. And what about the email? Did it get sent? No, it did not get sent. Why? Notification, email. It's going to mail trap. Do I need to activate anything else here on the env file? Yeah, mail mailer should be SMTP, I think. So it actually uses this, otherwise the emails are going to the log. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It sent the email, but it just added it to the log. Oh, I noticed the timestamp is not right. Let's just remove the timestamp. All right, let's try that again. Let's put the site back up. No, it's active. Let's run the scheduler. It should fix the site. Okay, and then going back down. If I run it, it went down. It's still not going there. So what are the options for mail mailer? Mailer send. think it's a specific driver that's not log. SMTP driver. Yeah. Not sure why it's not getting there, because we've done, I think we followed all the steps. Username, password, 2525 is the port. Well, I'm gonna make a pause here because the video has been running for too long. The thing is, the emails are working. I mean, are being generated by the system and are being sent. If we use the mailer log, we saw that this is the email that's being sent to the email address on the notification. We have the subject, and these are the contents of it. There's just an error that it might take a little bit longer to debug using Mailtrap, like it's not being received. Maybe by the next by the next video, I'll be able to show you what was wrong. But let's make a pause here. Recap is, on this video, we made some improvements to our interface. We added UIDs to websites. We added active status for website as well, so you can deactivate them while it's being worked or it's under development. And lastly, we added a user notifications table where we're allowing users to create Slack notifications and also email notifications. In the next video, yes, I'll show you what the error was here with Mailtrap, and we'll go over some more Tailwind UI elements. We're gonna keep making our app prettier and getting it ready for launch. So hope to see you on the next one. Bye.